Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Story Time with Rashmi, and I'm sure you all are very keen to hear us what we have today. So, today we have another new auntie who's a storyteller, and it's such a wonderful privilege to welcome her. Her name is Jaya Lakshmi, and she had been a software engineer, but currently she's a very devoted homemaker and a mother of two wonderful children. She defined herself in creativity, sincerity, and trustworthiness. She loves to do painting, coloring, drawing, knitting, cooking, and the list is endless. She's always creatively engaged. So, and much, much more she does every day to be so creative. She has a natural flair for storytelling. So today, let's hear a wonderful story from her. I'm not going to give you any clues about the story. I leave it to the storyteller, Jaya, to take us through the wonderful story she will be sharing with all of us. Just keep your ears and eyes open to listen to a story ahead. So, Jaya, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Rashmi, for such a beautiful introduction. And very glad to be a part of the storytelling team. And thanks for inviting me over. So, before we begin, I just thought I'll give a brief introduction about Kayal and Summer. So, Kayal and Summer is a semi fictional tale authored by my 11-year-old daughter, and it's based on her own life experiences. The story beautifully captures the emotions and feelings from her perspective, thus conveying the significance or importance of sibling relationships. She has also crafted those lively images, complementing the narrative beautifully. And yeah, this reading session is dedicated to all our listeners and to all those who have supported this venture. A special dedication goes to Kavya and her brother Siddharthan, who inspired her to write this book, and her cousin Alvin, who taught her to create those lively images. So, shall we get started with the reading session?
Yes, why not?
I'll be sharing the screen to show you all the book. So, I'll just start away. So, you able to see the book?
Yes.
Yeah. So, this is Kyle and Summer, written by Kavya Sahana.
Jay, if you could do one little more
Yeah.
zoom.
Yeah.
Yes, that's nice.
So, this is good to go. A few years ago, in a bustling city, a happy couple awaited the birth of their first child. 9 months later, they were blessed with a beautiful girl child and named her Kyle. She is a bubbly little girl. Wherever Kyle went, she brought joy to the people there. She had many friends and lived near her cousins, whom she would visit and play with. Kyle loved to read, write, draw, paint, and listen to melodies. Years passed, and soon some of her friends who lived close by to her house moved to other places, and all her cousins had also grown up. They were busy with their schools and colleges and thus couldn't make time to play with Kyle. Poor little Kyle started to feel very lonely. Though she had many hobbies, she still felt an emptiness in her heart and longed for someone to play with and spend time with. That was when she started to wish for a sibling. Kyle conveyed her loneliness to her parents and her wish for a sibling. Her mother asked her to pray and said, "Your wishes will be fulfilled at the right time. And whenever you feel lonely, come to me. I will help you feel better." Kyle was happy to hear this, and from that day she prayed sincerely for a sibling. 4 years later, her mother surprised her with the news that she would be an elder sister in another few months. Kyle's joy knew no bounds. Kyle was so excited and happy. She would read moral stories daily, sing songs, and play music to her unborn sibling, hoping the child would listen to them all. She kept communicating with the baby and even told about it to her friends at school. All her friends were very happy for her. And also, every day before bedtime, Kyle would narrate the day's happening to her sibling. Months later, the most joyous moment of her life arrived. She was an elder sister of a baby brother, and he was named Summer. Kaya loved her little brother a lot. When she held him for the first time, a nurse at the hospital walked up to her dad and said, "Sir, please take her out. She is too little to handle a newborn." When Kyle heard this, she bubbled up with anger. She said, "Sister, he's my brother. I'm holding him with the help of an adult. Please don't ask me to go out." She was always very careful about her brother and very possessive too. Kyle admired him so much. He was very charming and cute. When Summer looked at her and smiled for the first time, Kyle could hardly contain her joy. When he started walking, she took Summer and her grandparents to the playground every morning. Summer enjoyed himself very much. His first word was Akka, meaning elder sister. He even started to babble. Summer was delighted to have a loving sister like Kyle, and the bond between them grew stronger with each passing day. But alas, 2 years later, a new deadly virus outbreak occurred. It was the most feared coronavirus, well known as the COVID-19 pandemic. Kyle had to switch to online classes. She had no clue what to do because online classes were a new concept. Kyle was learning to cope with the virtual classrooms and continue with her education. Everything was new. Because of this, she couldn't spend much time with Summer. Summer felt lonely and neglected. His sister spent very little time playing with him, unlike before, which depressed him a lot. He longed for his sister to spend more time with him, but he was so heartbroken. He certainly didn't understand what Kyle was going through, but it upset him a lot. He would mostly stay quiet and burst into tears in front of his sister. That was when Kyle got concerned. What was the matter? Was she spending less time playing with Summer? Is that why he's sad? Kyle soon noticed that he was not babbling like before. Shared her concern with her parents. They asked Kyle not to worry and assured to meet a doctor. Kyle felt a bit relieved. Her parents had also noticed this regression in Summer. Unlike before, he was sad, depressed, and gloomy. He thought that nobody liked him anymore. He was unable to communicate or express his feeling. He also stopped responding to name calls. Suddenly, Kyle had a new fear. What if some loud noise made Summer hard of hearing? Was his hearing all right? Should he check with the doctors? What if he was furious with me and stopped talking to me? Is it because of that Summer stopped talking? Such thoughts haunted her day and night. She couldn't sleep because of the stress. Seeing her condition, her parents tried to calm her down. They booked an online consultation with a well known developmental pediatrician, Dr. Vedavati, who diagnosed Summer as autistic. When her parents and Kyle heard about this, they were shocked. Seeing the grief stricken look on their faces, Dr. Vedavati said, "Please do not worry. It is just another neurotype. Early intervention and therapies will help your child." Kyle asked, "Doctor, do you mean to say that Summer would never be able to talk or play with me?" Tears started rolling down her cheeks. She mumbled, "All because of me. I didn't spend enough time with him because of these accursed online classes." Dr. Vedavati asked Kyle to calm down. She explained that autism means a different way of looking at the world. It's just that their brain works differently. She said that nobody becomes autistic, they are born autistic. Summer already had autism, but nobody noticed it. Kyle stopped crying and then asked, "What can I do to help my brother come out of autism?" Dr. Vedavati said, "Autism is like left handedness. It's a unique way of doing things. Accept your brother's ways and you'll find them interesting." Kyle tried to understand. She started playing with her brother as usual and was relieved that Summer could hear. But Kyle felt that his ways of playing were quite strange. Summer always looked elsewhere while playing with Kyle. She hoped that Summer would talk to her, look up, play, and sing with her. During the subsequent consultation with Dr. Vedavati, Kyle discovered that eye contact wasn't necessary to connect with Summer. Yes, he was different, and she wanted to learn more about autism. She learned that therapies would help her brother to communicate and build necessary skills. Her parents researched the places that included these therapies in their curriculum. They found a handful of them with good ratings. After several inquiries, they chose the perfect center for her brother. Within a year, Summer learned a lot of things. Best of all, he started to communicate and play with his sister. He even began to babble. Kyle was highly delighted. Soon, Summer began to talk fluently. He is a very caring and an affectionate brother. Kyle is a loving sister who always thinks of new ways to help autistic people like her brother. Today, Summer is a reputed pediatric neurologist, and Kyle is a famous educator known and respected for her ways of teaching autistic children. She plays a massive role in today's inclusive education system by helping people learn, understand, and accommodate autistic kids. Years flew by. Summer and Kyle opened a small educational center to fulfill their parents' wish, offering free consultation, education, and therapies for kids who can't afford them. To this day, Kyle and Summer are celebrated for their contribution to building an inclusive society and making this world a better place for everyone to live happily and peacefully. The end. I would like to just read author's note. So, author's note. It's hard to describe the mix of emotions I felt upon learning about my little brother's diagnosis: confusion, sadness, loneliness, perhaps a blend of them all. That's when my parents suggested I articulate my feelings and thoughts. This marked the beginning of my writing journey and helped me and my brother better understand my brother and myself. The narrative within these pages mirrors my voyage alongside my brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaya, for articulating the entire and reading the entire story written so beautifully by your daughter,
Thank you
Kavya.
so much.
So, for all of us who have listened to the story, as we conclude our reading session of Kyle and Summer, let's take a moment to reflect. Reflect on what? Through the pages we have just read through, we can see how captivating the entire tale had been. It witnessed the power of resilience, beauty, and understanding, the support of a sibling, and how it plays a very important role in a little child and the entire family's life. So, the story in itself is very positive. How the little girl Kyle, which is Kavya, who took into her stride, and the siblings' unconditional love, which has been demonstrated in this beautiful book, is an undercurrent of the entire story. She, through her care, providing support, and building that capability for her little brother, and understanding a different perspective when she was told by the doctor that, it is just a different way of understanding, and how beautifully she comes out from her self guilt and gives way to a different learning perspective for her brother to evolve him to a mature individual at the end of the book. where he is a pediatrician and she is an educationist, handholding the society and giving them a message of beautiful inclusion, that how an aware family, an aware society gives a unique way to acceptance, and how a world can be beautifully unique, yet with lot of all of these differences. So such a positive story and spreading the message of acceptance, sibling, unconditional support, and the role of entire family in bringing about a child. So autism is just a different way of living and looking at the world in a different way. So I think it's a beautiful narrative, beautiful story with such wonderful illustrations that captivates the readers and all of us present here. I'm sure we all enjoyed this beautiful story. And to our listeners who have been watching us, hearing us out, I'm sure it's going to have a very, very, very impressionable experience of reading through this book. So I really am very thankful to Jaya Lakshmi having come to the Spectrum Autism platform to share the journey with this beautiful book about from her little daughter, who is a young author. So thank you so much, and a wonderful day ahead to all of you there. Keep listening to such wonderful stories and keep making your society inclusive. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you. Bye.